Hey guys. Woo. There we go. Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday, guys. Welcome to 3 Mississippi. What's going on? What's going on? I saw we had Auntie Ann in the chat already. We got Lila Newton here. Let's see. David Glunt is in the house. What's going on? Todd's Adventures. Hello. Randy Moore. Neil S. Hello, Sid, Mike, and Frankie. Hello, everyone. Wasn't sure I was going to make it on time tonight. Me neither. Me neither, Neil. I just strolled in the door. Normally I get to at least watch a little bit of Mama V on Possum Run before I start my live, and I didn't even get to pop into hers. I was running. You know how it is in a small town when you think you can just run in, do a quick errand, drop your kid off? No, people find you and they talk to you, which is fine normally, but I'm like, I got to go. but I made it. I made it on time. Paul Honeyman, hello. Hello, hello. I hope the recovery is going well. Greg is in the house. Hello. Alex, hello. Oh no, we have an echo? That's not good. My computer was being slow to start, so I don't know. Let's see. Old Man King, hello. James Hall, howdy, howdy. Jen Broughton. I told my neighbor about the puppies, Jen, but she's gonna talk to her husband. They just had one of their livestock guardian dogs die. It was like really old apparently, but they still have one left. And I was like, you should, if you're interested in getting another one. So, Evelyn Newman, hello. David Glunt, hello, Sid. Did Frankie get her surprise? She has not gotten it yet. We actually we go this weekend, but I feel like maybe I'm safe telling you guys on the live because she never watches the live unless she's in it. And even then, she's not paying attention half the time. So maybe I will spill that tonight for you guys. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Oh, no worries, Jen. Gotta go pick up your man. I get you. I get you. Came back early. Salty Life, hello. YouTube has been really slow to load comments lately. Oh, lovely. I feel like YouTube has done some weird stuff lately. I will tell you this. They have gone and age restricted some videos from like several years ago that are not even, they're like ones that are on our Patreon. They're not even like listed publicly. So that's weird. I'm like, do you guys have nothing better to do? I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I do feel like they're doing some funky stuff. I don't know what's up with that. Because I've gotten like 2 notifications that they age restricted it. And I was like, these videos are unlisted. So I don't understand why you're age restricting them when they're not public. They're only on the Patreon. Don't make no sense. So Frankie got a chastity belt. If only. Wouldn't that be the, yeah. It should be. Joe Jacobson, hello, prayers and blessings all from Eastern Iowa. Good evening. I didn't know they could either, Auntie Ann. I didn't know. But apparently they can mess with whatever they want. I think it's like a glitch because there's been a few times where, and I got a ding for a video from like a year ago that had at the time, you know, our little intro song that I use and our little intro with Rico and like showing the property. That song was on like Storyblocks and then they took it off, which is like a licensing music thing that I have. They took it off. And so I went and purchased the song separately. So that's how I can still use it. I like own the song and can use it. And it was like $20 and whatever. I'm like, I like that song for my intro. I'm going to keep it. And I didn't want to have to like remake. I mean, I still had to remake my intro because I had to like take out the song, even though it was like identical. I had to like take out the song and re-put in the new one because like somehow the computer knows. But anyway, this song from like a long time ago as the intro got flagged and they were demonetizing the video for it. So it's in escrow right now and I'm fighting it because I'm like, it was still on that licensing agreement a year ago. So why are you flagging? Like and it does that every once in a while with weird stuff like that. So it's frustrating. It's all AI now. I know. That's what's scary, Mark. There's so many things now that it's automated. Like even sometimes when you get a spam call. Now luckily we don't have a landline anymore. So everything's through my cell and your cell is pretty good about kind of telling you if it's a spam call or like, we're filtering them out. Um, but there for a while, I was getting some spam calls when we still had a landline that I, for a minute, thought it was a person. Like, and then you start to realize, like, wow, this is a really realistic computer that I'm speaking with right now. You know, Red 81 Carrero says, "Hey Sid, great job driving Kenny." Well, thank you. Thank you. It was fun. And I was surprised. I guess I mean, I hadn't driven Kenny before. Kenny's our Kubota tractor, for those of you that don't know. We've had Kenny for what, a year and a half now, and I had never driven it. Mike taught Frankie how, and then she just kind of became the tractor operator. And Mike runs it too. There's certain things that he does that she doesn't do. Like he'll make the rows with the row builder and stuff. And if she's not around, he'll do stuff. But usually most of the tractor work is like Frankie's job. She likes doing the tractor work and she's quite frankly faster at it. She's just really good at maneuvering that thing. So I just was under the impression that it was a lot clunkier to drive. I guess like I guess I pictured it was gonna like handle like a tank, and it really like I was surprised at like how tight a turn I could make with it and like how well it kind of handled. I was like, okay, I was kind of impressed. I really didn't expect that. But yeah, it was good experience. So that's what happens when Frankie's gone for the weekend. I get to drive Kenny. So I finally got a lesson on him. I still think tractors should be girls, like boats. Boats are girls, cars are girls. I don't know why the tractor's a boy. I feel like the tractor should be a girl too. The Cylons are invading. They are, Anne. I'm telling you, it's not okay. Charlene Grady, hello. Larry Parrish, hello, hello. Your doctor's phone number comes up on your cell as spam. That's funny. Oh my goodness, that's funny. Urban Farmer says, "Good evening, farmers. Hey, crew, I'm here. Can we start now?" Of course we can, Dana Picola. Of course. We may have started a tad before, but that's okay. We won't, that nothing before you got here counted. If you get on Kenny more, you'll learn how to drive it better. This is true. Um, this is true. And I'm sure that there will be more occasions now that I have had a lesson and feel a little more, comfortable. And Mike said, hey, if you need to drive it now, you've had enough of a lesson that you could go and do what you need to do. But honestly, for most of the things that I need to do that only would require, because you guys have to understand, like usually when I do things on the farm, I'm by myself. I don't have Frankie to help me, and Mike is not there. So it's usually like a one woman show, which is why a lot of that stuff doesn't get filmed because I'm just too busy. Like I don't have another set of hands to like handle it. Which I know there's a lot of YouTubers that are by themselves and they do it, and more power to them. Like, like Mama V, she's by herself 90% of the time, unless somebody from the family is up there helping her. But I just don't like when I have to get a task done and I'm by myself and I have work to do, I don't think to like film it most of the time because I'm like, oh, I have to do this and that. And I just don't think about it because I'm like trying to get through my day and I know I have to do X, Y, and Z. And anyway, so I don't usually have any like assistance. So the stuff that I'm doing, I usually do like manually. Like today, like I moved the chicken tractor, that big old clunky chicken tractor that we have that is very predator proof. But let me tell you, that thing is not light and it's not easy to move. And I'm also not moving it on flat land. I'm moving it on a hill. So, and it gets stuck in the mud every time it rains, and I have to get a snow shovel on the other side and levy it up, and then I got to move it inch by inch, and then I got to get, the other day it got so stuck that I went to go pull it with the dolly, and I went flying backwards into the mud, and I was like, that's enough for today. I give up. I will deal with this later. So when Frankie got home from school, we finished like unsticking it together and moved it. But I was like, that was enough for me today for that project. But today, and then the other day, all the birds got out in the pasture. And I literally gave up and walked away for a minute. And I didn't film any of it because I was so just completely disgusted with the whole thing. It really was. Uh, I couldn't. I was trying to get in there to, I forget why. Oh, I remember there was a gap when I had moved it that day. I had missed a pothole that I thought I had covered up so they couldn't get out, but I guess I didn't. And anyway, they got out underneath it. And luckily, I had gone back out there to do something not too much after I had moved them, but like half the birds were out. So then, of course, when you go in there, I didn't bring any feed with me. Error number one. When I went to go open the door to like, get them back in, they all just come rushing out. So I just gave up. I flung the door open and I just start walking back up to the shop to go get a scoop of food because I was like, I can't. Like, I just cannot handle them right now. I never custed so many chickens in my life. I was over it the other day. So I just couldn't handle it. Could not do it. So then today I've moved it down the pasture, like as far as I want to move it away from the house, because remember, we don't have water out there. So I am bucket brigading water out to these birds, which is not light, and it's downhill. And when it's wet and muddy and slippery, it's not fun. So I'm like, it's time to turn them around and bring them back up the other side of the hill, because before too much longer, it's going to be processing day. And if they're closer to the processing station, that's easier. So today I moved them sideways, which went terribly, but I did it. And then now I got to start dragging them back up the hill. Instead of pulling them down the hill, I got to pull them up the hill. I don't suspect that is going to go as well as pulling them down the hill did. I don't know if I'll be able to do that by myself, because it's going to just bog down into the hill every time I try to pull it. That's my worry. And I don't have like help in the morning to do that because Frankie's already gone at school. And yeah, so it's just going to be, and then evenings is hard because I can't coordinate with anybody. So I'm going to have to troubleshoot it. For sure. But I will. But that was my last couple days with those little birds. So I, you think of Uber as a male, but David says she. Yeah. And Lyft. I know our little Lyft is up there with David. Yeah, Lyft is definitely more feminine. Plus, she's got that old school Ford tractor. So at some point, David's supposed to come get the other Ford. What other rideshare things are there? There's Uber, Lyft. What's another rideshare program? I can't think of another one. DoorDash. We can have DoorDash, maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Pettit River Homestead. Hey, y'all, bedtime soon. Tell me about it. Hey, Wanda Henry. Most men think vehicles are women due to temperamental issues. I thought it was because of their sleek chassis. That's what I think. They have wheels that go up and down in their chicken tractor. Yeah, so we had wheels on our old chicken tractor, the one that we had in California. And they honestly sometimes were more of a hindrance than a help. I felt like, I don't know if it's, and they would go up, because otherwise your coop is still elevated. And Mike did get wheels for this one. We still have to make like 2 more of these chicken tractors. I want to make them completely different. And I cuss at that chicken tractor every time I'm out there having to do something with it, because it needs a higher step up in the front to keep the birds from bum rushing you when you go in. And there needs to be some lighter material with the metal on the side. So like, for example, or like the wood that comes down on the side to help prevent like digging or whatever around it. So I've seen lots of models that are, the other concern though is that you don't want it to like blow away, because we're in, high wind territory sometimes. So, you know, there's a kind of a hybrid version that's with like PVC piping and like some metal, like the what do you call it? The what's the word I'm looking for? Not goat wire. I think some of it was goat wire that we used on this last one, or on the one before. But then some chicken wire. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. It's a blizzard. Lila Newton said she looked outside and it's a blizzard. Oh no. Lordy, lordy. Uh-oh, too many windows consuming your RAM, Alex. That's never good. Sorry, I got behind in the chat here, guys. Whew. I know, he's on the phone, Paul. He can hear the diva, he said. Pull it with the 0 turn. See, here's the problem, guys. When the birds are actually in the tractor, so what I do is I move their feeder and I move their water to the opposite end of, like, if I'm pulling it this way, I put it as close so that, like, as I pull, the back end is then reaching them. And I could probably pull it with a Polaris, to be honest. And I may have to do that going uphill. My concern is when all it takes is like a couple of birds to like do something stupid, which they always do, and get themselves stuck in the wrong spot when you're trying to pull it. That's why I like pulling it manually, just because then I can keep a visual. Like today, I had about 14 birds that tried to kill themselves while I lifted the top and I was trying to slip the dolly underneath, and I only had the dolly, like the lip of the wood panel, like a quarter of an inch on that dolly. So I didn't have enough of the dolly underneath it to really pull it yet. So I had to like balance it on there where I'm like shoving birds back in to get their heads back underneath so that I could actually pull it. It's just a nightmare. But I mean, I can only imagine if I had it hooked up to something and tried to do that and then it snapped or what. I mean, you're killing all your birds. Like I've decapitated birds before, just getting their head stuck in the brooder door or in the chicken tractor door, because they were bum rushing out. So yeah, you have to like constantly watch. So Uber has that big bottom. That's why he calls it her. Oh, taxi would be cute. That's a good one. That's a good one, Anne. I like that. That works. I kind of like DoorDash, though. I think that's sort of cute. Hello, Theodore. Come on's got a yard chicken now. Oh boy. I'm behind on his video. I'm behind on everybody's videos right now. Yeah, you have to have the chicken tractor be able to lay flat on the ground because you don't want them getting out or predators getting in. But yeah, and we had that before. I don't know. Sometimes things just don't, I guess, work the way we want as well, I guess. I know. Sorry, guys. I'm behind on some of your comments. Cattle panel. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Yeah. There's goat wire too, because that's a smaller gauge. So we had that to like make the structure of it to make it a little bit firmer. And then we had chicken wire like connecting it. So like the sides are more firm. So like coyotes can't just like, because they'll just, rip at the sides. If it's just that flimsy chicken wire, anything can get through that. Oh no, I had a rooster laying on the ground like he got his rump beat up today, still alive. I put him in the brooder coop on his own, praying. Oh, I'm sorry. Like something attacked him, or like his gang ganged up on him. Should have stuck with hogs. Can't do pigs where we are here. I do like doing chickens though. But I mean, we could, but then we wouldn't be able to go on our neighbor's property and vice versa. And we don't want to not be able to like go on to each other's places. So we'll just not do pigs. Southern Bliss Homestead. What's going on? What's going on? Let's see. Sorry guys, I got way behind on comments. I'm trying to catch up. Oh, speak of the devil. Sorry, David. I'm just now see. This is what happens when I'm by myself and I start talking and then I miss a bunch of comments. I'm gonna miss again. I'm just gonna get back down to the bottom because I'm so far behind. What's up, David? We were just talking about Uber and Lyft and Kenny and who's a boy and who's a girl, and we were talking about the other tractor that Mike said you're gonna come get at some point, and we were trying to figure out like what was another ride share, and I was like DoorDash, I don't know, and then Ann said it should be taxi. So I don't know. Can't do no tagging on the phone, David says. Can't do no tagging on the phone. I feel you. I know it. Yeah, so I've had my you coming to the sip soon. All right, I like it. I like it. Keep me posted. Keep me posted. We'll fire up that grill. We got that nice grass-fed beef in the freezer right now, so we'll make something yummy. We'll make something yummy. We'll make some thunder biscuits and firecrackers, thunder biscuits, and something yummy on the grill. How's that? Yeah, so the I got turkeys coming in a couple weeks too, and I got my replacement gander for the one that they sent me that was wrong last year. If you guys remember, that's how I ended up with Roderick, my Roman tufted. So they're sending me the hopefully correct goose this time, and then I've got, because they won't ship them alone, and because I know Jen wanted them, I'm getting two, a male and a female for her that I'm going to brood out. So those Thunder Biscuits was the beef. Yeah, if y'all don't remember the story about the Thunder Biscuits, whoo, I'm telling you. Yeah, we were laughing because David was over. I think it was one of the first times he came over, and we were making dinner, and I was gonna make some biscuits, and just not, not from scratch or anything. These were just the canned biscuits, but it had been like the pressure, the air pressure, like a thunderstorm pressure had come through, and the can exploded in the fridge, like it opened, and so we called them Thunder Biscuits, and so now that's forever what any biscuits in a roll are now Thunder Biscuits to us. That's what we call them. MT Homestead, what's going on? Hey Sid, and hello to all in chat listening while I try to get stuff done before our live later. I feel you, homie. I feel you, homie. You'll have to go and check them out at 8 o'clock tonight for sure. We're actually going to be doing it a little bit early. It's going to be the week before the 4th of July because that falls on like a Wednesday or Thursday this year because of leap year. So it's like so we're doing it like the week before. I forget what the actual date is. It's like the end of June. So boo, boo, boo. Treasure Hunter, what's going on? You'll have thunder thighs after those Thunder Biscuits. That's true. If you eat too many of them. That's accurate. That is accurate. Carbon it up. That's right. Our Mountain Homestead, Jenna Wiley, what's going on? SLR is on their way home. Will they be live tonight? I have not heard anything to the contrary, but I have also not been on the interwebs, and our group chat has been quiet today, as far as I know. So I haven't checked it either. Sometimes it gives me notifications and sometimes it doesn't. So I would imagine if they haven't posted to the contrary that they will be going live. I didn't realize they were still out of town. I feel like they've been gone for 3 weeks, but time is relative, I guess. They were live this afternoon, says Greg. Oh, it might depend on how late they get home and how tired they are and all of those wonderful things. You never know. But yeah, so I'm going to give you guys the spill right now on Frankie's big surprise for her birthday, because I feel very certain that she won't watch this anytime soon. Definitely not before we go to the surprise. So Frankie has been Frankie, first of all, you guys know Frankie loves music. She loves to sing. She sometimes will write songs. She she loves music and she listens to music constantly. Now, I don't mean like she listens to music a lot. I mean like she listens to music constantly, like nonstop. Like her earbud is in her ear and she is listening to music, doing farm work, on the bus to school. I know she listens to it in class a lot, which I know some of you might say that's whatever, but she literally, I mean, she gets straight A's. It works for her. Like it, for whatever reason, it helps her focus. And so anyway, she listens to music constantly. She wakes up listening to music. She goes to sleep listening to music. She listens to music, which I guess, I mean, there's worse things that she could be doing. You know, she'd be watching awful reality TV or YouTube or something. So I guess that's fine. But anyway, she loves finding like new artists that like nobody's heard of yet, and like not discovering them. She doesn't consider it that, but like she likes finding them before anybody else does, and like really just like digging into all their music before they kind of get really big. And she's done that with a few people now, and one of them was Zach Bryan. He's does that song Something in the Orange, and he's very, very popular now, super popular now. Well, she started listening to him years ago, like when he first was like popping up on social media, and like I think hadn't even released his first album yet. Like she somehow found him somewhere. Anyway, she's like obsessed with him. Okay. She listens to his music probably more than anybody else's, but she listens to everything from like, you know, Dolly Parton and Waylon Jennings to Eminem. Like she listens to everybody. Okay. Um, so, but she really loves Zach Bryan, and she was like, man, if, you know, if Zach Bryan ever comes to town, I'd really love to go see him, or anywhere, you know, close enough that it would make sense for us to go. I'd love to go see him. So, um, yeah, I mean, obviously not like probably when the teacher's actually giving instruction, but like when she's working, she has it playing. And if you think about it, like, I mean, my brain kind of is the same way. I'll have stuff playing while I'm doing other tasks too. I don't know. I think it's just like a busy brain thing. It helps quiet part of my brain. That's how I fall asleep too. I can't fall asleep. I can't just lay down and fall asleep. I have to be like, have the TV on or something, because it distracts my brain and I can fall asleep. And I don't think about all the, oh, I didn't unload the dishwasher. Oh, I need to scrub the floors. Oh, did I remember to buy more chicken feed? Oh, I forgot to go do this. Oh, you know, otherwise it's that until 3 in the morning. So that's the only way I can sleep. So she's I guess kind of the same way. So anyway, so she's going, her and her friend Morgan, whose birthday is today. They are a year and 3 days apart in age. Frankie found out that he was going to be in Birmingham back in the beginning of the fall into summer. And she was like, Mom, he's going to be in town in Birmingham. That's not that far, right? And I was like, yeah, it's like 2.5 hours away. It's not that far. And she's like, can you look and see if we can maybe get tickets? Like, and I'm like, well, it's really close to your birthday. It's like the weekend after your birthday. Like we could, you know, we could like maybe make this your birthday gift. Like, let me see. So I'm like, I'm going to try to get the best seats I can. Right. And I sold it hard. I was like, I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to try to get you really good seats. I know you really want to go see him. Like, I'm going to try my best. And man, guys, let me tell you, I tried really hard. Like my tickets kept getting stolen offline like that. Every time I thought I had them secured, they were gone. They were gone. They were gone. I finally got some, and I got floor seats. And it was definitely more than I had wanted to spend. I mean, they weren't totally outrageous considering their floor seats. I mean, I've seen some, like there's some concerts that I've gotten tickets to that I'm like, I could barely afford the nosebleed. So we don't even go. But they were pricey. And I also think, side note, I also think that the Ticketmaster thing did a bait and switch, because I remember when I purchased the tickets, it would say like it was like K1 and G this, and you know, I whatever and whatever on the floor section. And it like showed you where you were on the floor. Well, then when the tickets became actual, because you know how they wait till the last minute to give you actual, or at least they sometimes do, to give you like the actual virtual ticket. Now the whole floor pit, they've changed to just general seating, which there are no seats, it's standing room only. So I'm like, how is that like a thing? So now we have to get there like But anyway, so Frankie thinks I told her that I was like, Frankie, I'm really, really sorry. I tried really, really hard, but I was like, we are in the nosebleeds. Like, we're gonna have to bring binoculars. Like, we are in the back row of the terrace section, all the way in the back. Like, it's bad. And she's like, Mom, I don't care. I don't care. You tried. That's what all that matters. And we're gonna be in the same room with him. It's fine. I don't care. I mean, she was super cute about it. And I'm like, okay. And so I just keep making these jokes about how like we're in the nosebleed section and like it's just it's just gonna be he's just gonna be a pinprick on the thing. But we have floor seats. But now, because we're taking, her friend Morgan and then my friend, her mom, Beth, this is the girl's birthday thing, um, to go to this concert. So we've got to trick them to get them there early. Now Frankie's pretty cool with getting there really early with no real explanation needed because she really wants to get a shirt from the concert and she wants to make sure she gets like first pick. So she wants to get there when the merch stand first opens. So that's cool and all. Um, but hey, Mr. MT, what's going on? What's going on? She does know ABBA. Southern Bless, she does. You probably would be hard pressed to name a band or a song that she wouldn't be able to tell you. Probably anything from like 1962 on. She's pretty good. There's some bands like she may not know the name of the band or whatever, but she like knows the song. Like some bands she gets more into than others, but she knows ABBA. Yeah. Oh yeah. She knows her Mamma Mia. Um, but yeah, anyway, so she's the big surprise is when we get there, we're gonna reveal that like, oh, we have to get in line for here because guess what? We're in the floor seats, we're not in the balcony. And then watch their heads explode. So that's the big surprise. So I hope because we did spend a lot on these tickets, like way more than I should have spent, to be honest. Like this is not the kind of splurge that I normally would do. Um, but Frankie like loves him. It's the kind of splurge I would do if it was like Dolly Parton for me, you know? So I was like, she feels about him like maybe not quite the way I feel about Dolly or Paul McCartney, but like it's close, it's close. So yeah. But anyway, she's gonna be really excited that she's got these really great close-up seats, but we have to try to get there early because you have to like get in to get close to the stage and then like don't go to the bathroom, don't go get a beer, don't just stay there. I guess. I don't know. I don't know how that's all going to go down. I guess we'll find out when we get there. First concert I ever went to was in Birmingham. It was Boston when I was 11 or 12. Saw the Stones there in the late 80s. Oh man, I bet that was a good concert. I've gotten to see Paul McCartney twice in concert now. I've gotten to see Dolly once. And I've seen a bunch of other people over the years, but I've seen Journey with Cheap Trick and Def Leppard, and yeah, I've been to some good shows. A lot of country music artists I've seen. I've seen Gary Allen a few times because Mike's a big Gary Allen fan. I've seen Winona. I've seen Cyndi Lauper. I've seen Martina McBride. Like, there's a bunch of people I've seen, but yeah, I think she will too, David. I think she will love it. I think she will. So. Oh, we're gonna go see Zach Bryan. It's Frankie's birthday gift, and she's completely obsessed with him. Has been for several years now, and but she thinks we're in the nosebleeds, and so nobody say anything until Saturday because the concert's Friday night. Um, but she thinks we're in the nosebleed section, but I was able to get us floor seats through diligent thumb maneuvers while purchasing tickets. So I know I'm gonna have to wear Depends and like just stand there. I mean, I think we're gonna have to go in shifts, but that's the other thing too, is like usually when you go to a concert, I don't know, you like try to stay with your peeps. So I don't know. Gonna have to limit my liquid intake so that I don't have any problems. So, oh, Barry Manilow. I grew up listening to Barry Manilow. My mom's a huge Barry Manilow fan. She went and saw him in concert too. Yeah. I'm personally not a fan of concerts. Can't handle that big of a crowd. Zach, I get you. I don't like. I'm not a huge fan of crowds, but they don't bother me in that way. I do get very like at the end when everybody's trying to leave at the same time. I'm like, I'll wait. I will wait until the chaos dissipates a bit and then we'll leave. Like give me like literally it just takes 5 minutes. But the people that are trying like, oh, I gotta go. I'm like, no, just wait. I'm not I'm not doing that. But Mike's the same way. He doesn't really like to go to concerts anymore. And I don't know, like honestly, Mike even said to me, he's like, you should probably bring some ear protection because my little old lady ears now probably can't handle that rock and roll music like they used to, you know. So I'm gonna bring my little earbuds to plug in. So Liberty DIY finally caught alive and stuck at work late for weeks. Well, good, glad to have you. Southern Bliss says they got Vince Gill's autograph on his first 45 album. Nice. I was trying to make Vince Gill sound really old, or you really old, or both. What's a 45? 36 minutes in, still no mic. I don't know what to tell you, Cuddly texted. It's a one-woman show tonight. He's busy at work, I suppose. Does it give my age away seeing Barry Manilow? He's still playing in Vegas. I think he still has a residency there, I think. Or at least he did a few years ago. I wonder how old Barry Manilow is now. Somebody's gonna Google it, I'm sure now that we've said that. But yeah. Um oh Mandy. Yeah. Saw Kenny and Dolly. Oh, that would have been a great show. I don't like to go to concerts anymore. I don't do well in crowds. The last concert I went to was a few years ago to see Carrie Underwood. Huh. Carrie Underwood. Would not have that on my bingo card for you. I feel like you got dragged to that concert. I saw Wasp with Iron Maiden, except opening for Judas Priest. Judas Priest lip synced the whole show. It was awful. Oh my goodness. Older than dirt. Probably, Anne. My husband took a Norwegian exchange student to see Smashing Pumpkins on the floor. He came home and said he was blind and deaf. We were just talking about Smashing Pumpkins the other day because I had it on the rock station in the car, and I think we were on our way to pick up Frankie, or he and I were going somewhere. Oh, I think it was the night that she was gone and we were going to go out to dinner, and Smashing Pumpkins was on, and I was like, it was just quiet listening to it for a minute, and I was like, they were really, really popular when I was in junior high and high school. And I didn't get it then, and I don't get it now. Like, I just don't get it. And he was like, "What don't you get?" And I was like, "Well, they weren't good looking." And he goes, "What do you mean? Like, that's not a prerequisite for being a good band." And I was like, "No, I'm just saying, like, I didn't think their music was that great. And there was nothing else. Like, I couldn't understand why all the girls were swooning over Smashing Pumpkins because I was like, I could understand if they were like really good looking, like boy band cute, that these like Kurt Cobain made sense. Like, he was a good looking guy. I liked their music, but like, I understood like the girls being all excited about him. But like, Smashing Pumpkins, the lead singer looks like a chew toy of a zombie. Like like I didn't get the attraction. I don't know. So not at all. I love her voice. Okay. All right, David. Fair. I mean, she is very talented. I just found that surprising. I saw the Bus Boys. Maybe that's supposed to be Beach Boys. Oop, my screen started going 90 miles an hour. What age was my first concert and who did you see? Gosh, my first concert. Who was my first concert? Hmm. I think it must have been Garth. In 7th grade, I went to go see Garth Brooks. It was his first time back at San Diego since, like, several years, since I was old enough to, like, go to a concert, really. That was my first concert, and then, like, back then, concerts were cheap, and country concerts in California were really cheap. So we saw, like, Brooks& and Dunn and Reba, and, like, we would go to all these concerts, and the concert tickets were never more than, like, $30. And so we would go to concerts. Anybody that came to town, we would go to the concerts. And so, I mean, that was what we did. And we just would go to like all these concerts. And so but that was Garth Brooks. I mean, I still love Garth Brooks just because that just it's very nostalgic for me. Um, but yeah, I was 7th grade. So I was what, like 13, 14, somewhere in there. Yeah. And I remember we actually I mean, we didn't have great seats, but there was a fist fight that broke out, um, like, pretty early on in the concert. I cried when he came on stage. I started crying. I was that girl. But I cried, like, even the last 2 times that I've seen, Paul McCartney. I teared up when they came on stage, and I teared up when Dolly came on stage. So, yeah. I don't understand the Rod Stewart thing either. Like, I like some of his music, but, yeah. Bon Jovi! I love Bon Jovi, Glenn and Shannon, Salty Life. I love Bon Jovi. I've never seen them though. Ridge Life, what's going on? He is really late. I know. I think sometimes he just likes to mess with me and make me do the live by myself. He's probably hiding in there watching the live and just just watching me do it by myself. I don't know. Whew. I still got behind on comments again. Our Mountain Home says, "I've got to go. I have stuff to do before it gets dark. Moving day is coming fast, and there's so much to do." Oh, get to work, Jen. Get to work, girl. Tim goes in at the end of the month, Lila says. I'm assuming she means regarding surgery, because I know it got postponed. Saw Prince with your wife and she cried the whole time. Oh, that's cool, David. I was in love with Barry Gibb when I was in middle school. He had a certain appeal. Like, not fully my type, but he had a certain appeal. Not gonna lie. He's being fashionably late. That's right. Just like a prima donna. Mike is commenting under another channel like David admitted to. Yeah, maybe. Maybe he is. Back to good. Hello. Nope, the Bus Boys. The Beach Boys played at my mom's high school, Gardenia High. I've never heard of the Bus Boys. I don't know who they are. Not Andy, but Barry. She's like very specific about which Gibb brother she was invested in. Jan and Dean. I know who Jan and Dean are. I don't have to look them up. I know exactly who they are. You got to remember, my mom raised me on a lot of like show tunes and Barry Manilow and Cyndi Lauper and Michael Jackson and everything from like the 50s. And then my dad raised me on like everything else, all the classic rock. So the Stones, the Beatles, all that stuff. Like he was the one that like listened to all that stuff and introduced me to that. So I know who all them folks are. I love it. You lost your voice singing along to REO Speedwagon. Did anyone really like Kiss? I think for what Kiss was sort of like a parody of a rock band, but they were actually relatively talented musicians, but they found a formula that worked for them. So let's go, Diva. I know it. Oh my gosh. we don't have a lot of concrete here on the island, so it was expensive to go to the mainland to see one. Oh, I bet, Wanda. Big Kiss fan, Lila. I had their trading cards and dressed up like them for Halloween. Oh my goodness. Ridge Life is spilling the beans. Who knew? Can you do the like the tongue thing? The I love it. I liked the songs. I like some of Meatloaf's songs, but I couldn't stand looking at them. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Man, I've been to some good concerts over the years. Like, I do like going to concerts. I do feel like they've gotten louder the older I've gotten. Um, but and I like going to comedy shows. I've gone to like a couple of those, but nothing recently, but it's fun. It's fun. I like it. They've just gotten like, I don't know, they've just gotten so much more expensive. Um, like I don't know. Like that was the cool thing about like Garth back in the days. He had that price cap on his tickets. And I guess he still does that because I remember we didn't pay very much. I think it was like $75 for our concert tickets when we went the last time in San Diego. But it was like the Ticketmaster fees were almost as much as the concert tickets. So, because we took Frankie, that was like her first concert. Well, actually, that's not true. We took her to go see Hugh Jackman did a tour, like Wolverine, Hugh Jackman did a tour. It was like his one-man show tour, and it was a wonderful show. It was fantastic, and it was singing, it was dancing, it was storytelling. It was like very vaudevillian. It was like wonderful. And we went with my mom. During intermission, my mom actually fell down the stairs. She was fine. They were very steep stairs. My mom is not good with vision, steps, balance, any of that. Anyway, she fell down the stairs, and so they had her sign a waiver, and they upgraded us to like the basically the side of the stage. So we were like out front, but like right there, like we were kind of in the pit on the side in like the handicapped area. So that was kind of fun, but Tim says, can you tell us the story how you got Pac-Man? So Tim caught recently on a video that on this ear, I don't know if you guys can see it. Put my hair behind my ear real quick. So I don't know if you guys can see. It's a little faded. She used like Indian ink, so it didn't stay really well. And then the little eye is my second piercing diamond there. Okay. So, and you can see there's like a slit, right? So that's Miss Pac-Man, right? She needs a touch up. I just haven't gotten around to it. But what had happened was I had my first few piercings, I had just gone to like Claire's or Afterthoughts or whatever and let them pierce my ears. And as a result, I had a lot of piercings that were pierced too low and like kind of split through or came out. And I had them pierced. That happened with this one. And then I had them pierced above it, but they pierced it too close to where it had split. Anyway, long story short, it ends up splitting my ear. Like one day I was at work on the phone and I went to hang up the receiver and my earring just came out in one piece. And I was like, oh, cool. Um, so I was like, man, now I have this weird gap here. And my mom was like, oh, you should go get stitches and like have them stitch it up. And I was like, that's kind of lame. Like, I didn't really want to go get stitches in my ear. So I was like, what could I do with it? Like, what could I do with it? And then I was like, well, it kind of looks like a little Pac-Man. So I went to a tattoo shop and I went with my daughter's godmother. She wasn't my daughter's godmother at the time because this was well before Frankie was even a thought. And I had them tattoo my earlobe. So it's little Miss Pac-Man on my ear. So that's the story of Miss Pac-Man on my ear. 2 commercials played while I was explaining. Start over. My ear got pierced too low. It slid out over time. I re-pierced it above it. It still slid out, so it made an even bigger slit. And everyone was like, "Oh, you should just get stitches in it." And I was like, "I don't really want to get stitches. What could I turn this into?" And I was like, "I could tattoo it into Miss Pac-Man." So I did. So saw Garth on the Navy base in San Diego. Tickets for 25 bucks, all standing in an open field. Nice. Nice. I know Mike saw him in Tennessee when he was younger. Garth was younger then too. And it was like before he was famous. It was like well before then. And Mike met, let's see, it was Clint Black, Aaron Tippin. I feel like there was one more person sitting with them, but I can't remember who it was. But anyway, he met them at like some breakfast place, like an IHOP or like a Waffle House or something. And like sat down, they like invited him to like sit down and he like chatted with them for a while. It didn't hurt. It didn't hurt at all. And actually getting your ear tattooed was one of the best tattoos. Like it tickles and it just feels, it doesn't feel like a tattoo at all. So, and I need to get it touched up because it's kind of, she used a weird ink, so it didn't like stay very well. So, yeah. But ironically, my my wedding band tattoo has actually held up pretty well over the years. It might probably needs a touch up too, but I haven't. I'm lazy like that. It would have taken you 15 minutes to explain. I get to the point quick, I guess. I don't know. But I don't know. I just kept getting piercings and stuff. These are all separate. They get out of alignment sometimes when I squish them around, but those are all separate. That's not a cuff. I just have a lot, and then I got that one recently. That was the one we got when we went to Memphis, the day that I got my migraine. But I got the migraine before that, so it wasn't that didn't bring it on. So let's see. Did I have this? Oh, I did have this. Yeah, Mike and I were together when I got that done, but I don't know if we were married yet. Not sure. I have one tattoo, passed out getting it. An outline on my ankle is ouchy. Oh no. I got my first tattoo a few years ago below my elbow and it felt really weird. This spot is a weird spot. This, like on your elbow, that bone, you can just feel it like radiating through your head. And then like on the inside of your arm here is really hard to heal. So yeah. Ridge, like honestly, Tim, I have no idea. I stopped counting a long time ago. I have no idea how many I have. I would literally, and I actually had one fall out that was over like here the other day, but it healed back up together. So my dad used to call me shrapnel because I had all these piercings. So he used to just call me shrapnel. He's just Lila says, you just sink right away when you go swimming. I know. I have a lot of piercings. So I don't ever put sunblock on my tattoos, so they have faded. Oh yeah. I wear like a sleeve on mine sometimes. So I saw Charlie Daniels band for $5 on a base in Charleston, South Carolina. Mike actually opened for Charlie Daniels band on a military base in San Diego, back when his band was banding. They did. Out and about with Days and Davy. Sit in micro refreshment fund. $20 super chat. Aw, thank you. Appreciate that. We'll put that in the old tattoo fund. I have 5 tattoos. Worst was on the chest. I think this is probably pretty uncomfortable, but it doesn't last long because it's such a small spot. And then my feet tattoos that I have like on the tops of my feet, those don't hurt. Like they weren't like paint. I don't think tattoos really hurt though, but they're awkward because I'm very ticklish. So if the tattoo artist like moved my foot and like kind of rubbed their thumb on the sole of my foot, I would have to like whatever. And then there's also a point where they hit like the tendons up here when they're doing it. And so my foot would do this thing where it would go on its own and I couldn't make it stop. And that got a little uncomfortable. But yeah, my flotation devices. Your friend had a tattoo, a toe ring tattooed. I don't feel like that would be that bad. I mean, you guys have seen my feet and stuff. I've got, tattoos. I got my flamingo over here, my rose over here. I've got my big magnolia one over here that goes all the way down. And my Superman. I got, the one, this is the one I got when I just went on that last trip to California, my magnolia and my poppy. And then I've got Frankie's tattoo that I got years ago. And then my full sleeve, of course, on this side, you guys have all seen in videos. But my ear, my finger, and I have one on my hip. So that's it. No tramp stamp though. I never did that. I always wanted to be able to see my tattoos. So I played with Charlie and met Toby Keith at 3rd and Lindley's in Nashville about 10 years ago. Both were just good old country boys that just happened to play music. Yep. Yeah. In fact, after the concert, obviously we got to stay and watch Charlie Daniels after, Mike's band played. And afterwards we were kind of like off to the side and they brought Charlie Daniels came out and like signed Mike's guitar, and his like manager or whatever said that, they were talking and they really liked the band, and they said next time we're in San Diego, call us, give us your information because we would love to have you guys open for us again. But he never did. So, oh, thank you, Lila. She says your sleeve is gorgeous. Thank you. Oh, that's sweet. Zach says him and his mom got one that says Ohana, which means family. Is it 6:58 already? Oh my goodness, Auntie Anne. Last time I looked at the clock, it was like 6:32, and then we started talking about tattoos and ripped ears, and time just started flying. My goodness. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, that's amazing. I love it. Well, thank you again. Out and about with Dave and Daisy. I appreciate the super chat, and thank you guys all for hanging out with us, and to the wonderful Auntie Anne, who is always an amazing moderator and all around well-rounded swell gal. We appreciate you. And to our members like David Glenn, and Evelyn Newman, and MT Homestead was in here earlier. They're going to be on later tonight. Don't forget to go check out, I don't know if SLR, I'm assuming they're still going live because nobody said otherwise. And then you got MT Homestead up at 8 o'clock, and then you got Brian at Vineyard Farmhouse on at 9. So go show them some love. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up on your way out if you didn't already. And I appreciate you all. Have a very blessed night. And remember, safety's off.